join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Dr. Schutz.
Here.
Mr. Jester.
Here.
Ms. Romeo.
Here.
Ms. John.
Here.
Mr. Sherem. Colonel Hassenlop.
Do we have any special guests or special recognition tonight?
None this evening.
Architect's report?
No, sir. Not tonight.
Departmental report?
No, sir. Not tonight.
Your report?
Under item 7A, actually this might be fudging the agenda item a little bit. We will, on Monday afternoon at 5 o'clock, have a ribbon cutting at Pioneer Park Elementary. We had hoped to do one for Cleveland also next week one night, but we are not occupancy approved out there yet, so we'll hold off till they get everything ready and cleaned up and it's ready to go. But at 5 o'clock on Monday evening at Pioneer Park Elementary, we will cut the ribbon and put on display our newest classroom on the east side. We're pretty excited about that. Under item 7B, this evening I would ask you to consider and take action to approve the proposed Title I school-wide plan for Eisner Elementary. This is, again, just part of the process of going through getting a new school into the Title I program. If you'll remember, we approved last time a document regarding going school-wide with them. These are the assurances that have to be done, and it's just all part of the formality, and it kind of comes in pieces. And so I would ask you to approve that this evening.
Any discussion? Motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Romeo.
Yes.
Ms. John.
Yes.
Mr. Jester.
Yes.
Dr. Schutz.
Yes.
Item 7C, I would ask you to consider to take action to approve the proposed revisions to the policy DL-R1, which is the workday for certified personnel. As you will remember, we 2 years ago added 15 minutes to the instructional part of the day, not to the workday. Workdays should stay the same from start to finish, but we moved 15 minutes of the time in the day back into instruction. In doing so, we failed to go back and modify our work policy, our workday policy for certified staff, indicating when they had to be there before and after school. Previously, we had teachers that were there 1 hour before and after school combined, either 15 minutes in the morning or 45 minutes in the afternoon, that kind of thing. Well, we took 15 minutes of that away from their discretion and put it back with the students. So we now had 45 minutes, and we just simply needed to go in and change the policy to reflect that now they need 15 or 30 minutes either before or after school, and that's what we've done with this. You can see in the first paragraph there that we just simply have stated 15 or 30 minutes prior to the school day, or 15 or 30 minutes after the school day. So if they do 15 minutes before, they need to stay 30 minutes after. If they're there 30 minutes early, they need to stay 15 minutes after. And that gets it in compliance with the normal workday for teachers and without elongating the day any. So I would ask your approval of that particular item. There is one other thing. We did eliminate the phrase where it said a teacher will be given one 55-minute planning period. We don't have 55-minute classes anymore, so they get one class for a planning period. So sometimes that's 50 minutes, sometimes it's 53. It's a little awkward depending on how the bell schedule is set up at the individual schools, but they are off one period of the day for a planning period.
Move for approval.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Jester.
Yes.
Ms. Romeo.
Yes.
Ms. John.
Yes.
Dr. Schutz.
Yes.
Item 7D, I would ask you to approve the proposed revision to policy DO-R, which is the teacher termination procedures. This is simply to align our policy with the state law, which eliminated the trial de novo. Again, One of those things that we should have brought to you earlier, but until you actually reach the point where you need the policy, sometimes you forget to go back and do that. And I have to take ownership of that responsibility of failing to do that. On the last page of the policy, on page 9, you will see in the next to the last paragraph, we have simply removed the language that was stricken by the law, and the rest of it is certainly written pretty much verbatim from the statute. So I would ask your approval of that item this evening.
Mr. Beach, I would suggest that whoever makes a motion add a zero in front of the F.
Okay.
That would make a slight grammatical error.
Yes, decision F, okay, of the board?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
I move for approval with the following changes to add the F at the zero. The zero at the F.
And approve the policy as amended.
And approve the policy as submitted.
Thank you.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Shawn,
Yes.
Ms. Romeo,
Yes.
Mr. Jester,
Yes.
Dr. Schutz.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 7E this evening, I would ask your permission to advertise for the sale of Howell Elementary and Country Club Heights Elementary. We're still a couple of weeks away from even being able to let anyone in to look at Country Club, but we have finished cleaning out Howell for the most part. We have it ready to be looked at by potential buyers. The way the law reads is that when we liquidate property, that we must either do it through a public auction or a sealed bid. We have in the past always used the sealed bid process, and feeling like that is our best avenue to get the desired results we want. And so we would like permission to do this. Now, I may have to wait to advertise Country Club until we get teachers relocated, but if I can go ahead and have permission as soon as we can, I will put it on the market. One of the reasons for some of the, and I won't call it urgency, but for the desire to go ahead and advertise Country Club is we have a lot of interest in it right now, which is somewhat surprising, and we want to take advantage of that. The other one is that we, in order to make the final accommodations at Douglas to be able to close PDC, we need to have some funds to invest to make that. And so we would use the proceeds from that to finish our remodeling at Douglas, and then we'll bring PDC in for approval to sell. But I would ask you for permission to advertise. Mr. Wade will assist me, or actually probably do the work if you want to know the truth, to put the advertisements together and make sure they're in compliance with all the statutes and guidelines.
The other thing we need to do is we need to obtain appraisals, and I do have a proposal that I should have thought I'd have in writing by today, but I don't. But it's going to be slightly, my recollection is it may be slightly under or over $2,000 per school, which is in line with what we've paid before. But I would, if the motion could also authorize us to have each of them appraised at a cost not to exceed $2,500 per school.
I move for approval with the addition of an appraisal up to the value of $2,500 per school.
I second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Romeo,
Yes.
Ms. John,
Yes.
Mr. Jester,
Yes.
Dr. Schutz.
Yes.
Under item 7F this evening, I would ask you, this is kind of a housekeeping measure, I would ask you to approve the recommendations from the Oklahoma Oklahoma Public School Investment Interlocal Cooperative. That is the investment pool that we belong to. These officers are currently part of the board of directors representing the organizations indicated there, the Cooperative Council of Oklahoma School Administrators, Oklahoma Rural School Association, and the OSSBA are all have members on this board. By the bylaws of the organization, every member of the interlocal has to present these recommendations to their board and have them voted on. So I brought that to you this evening to ask you to do that.
Move for approval.
I second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Jester,
Yes.
Ms. Romeo,
Yes.
Ms. John,
Yes.
Dr. Schutz.
Yes.
Thank you, and that's all I have for you under the superintendent's report this evening.
Are there any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda? Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
You want G? Time out.
I'm sorry?
There was a G under the...
Oh, I'm sorry, there is a G. There's no action required this evening on that because the request for a hearing has been withdrawn. I'm sorry, I meant to say that.
So there will be no hearing on that?
There will be no hearing on that particular matter.
Okay. So that's been eliminated. Again, back to consent agenda items. Any items that need to be removed? Entertain a motion to approve in block.
I move to approve.
No second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Romeo,
Yes.
Ms. John,
Yes.
Mr. Jester,
Yes.
Dr. Schutz.
Yes. Is there an executive session tonight?
We do not need an executive session this evening. No.
Okay. Consideration of new business?
We need to vote on the personnel.
Oh, where'd that go?
13A.
Skip one. Sorry about that. Okay, superintendent's personal report.
Under item 13A, I'd ask you to vote to approve the employing, promoting, disciplining, and receiving of resignations of individuals certified and support salaried personnel as they're listed on pages 88 and 89.
I move for approval.
I second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. John,
Yes.
Ms. Romeo,
Yes.
Mr. Jester,
Yes.
Dr. Schutz.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, consideration of any new business? Next board meeting date is Tuesday, May 29th, 2012.
That is a special board meeting for the purpose of a hearing, and we will have that board meeting at Shoemaker for the hearing.
5 o'clock.
Yes. 5 that evening.
Next regular board meeting date is Monday, June 4th. Okay, any board announcements?
Just two, if I may. Well, actually, probably need to make three. One, we have submitted our final copy of our grant to the Office of Economic Adjustment, and so now we will play the proverbial waiting game, but we've done our part, and hopefully there's $37 million on the other end. Two, I would invite you all to attend any and all of the activities leading up to the end of school with our schools, whether they're elementaries or high schools. They've got something going on. So if you need a few moments of joy in your life, go share with our teachers and children at this time of year. Teachers will love to see you, and the children, they're just happy to be getting to the end. So they'll be glad to see you as well. But we want to remind our patrons that we will be graduating on Thursday night next week with Lawton High School at the Great Plains Coliseum, and that graduation starts at 7. And then on Friday at 1 o'clock, MacArthur High School will graduate at the Coliseum, and at 7 p.m. that night, Eisenhower High School. A little different format than we've had in the past with the afternoon being on Friday, and we'll gauge whether that is something that we want to continue or not. But we are excited, and we've got a lot of young people that are getting ready to go to that next step in their life, and we want to recognize them appropriately. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to either have to wear glasses or get somebody to be my memory for me. The information you have on the amended proposal to the architect's agreement is a result of when the federal government came back with the grant proposal, or with the review of the proposal we turned in for the grant. They said we had to do a couple of things that we had not put in. One of those, LEED certification, which is a green certification, basically an environmental response design, and some commissioning. And I have to be real honest with you, the commissioning is just paperwork that has to be done as a result of this being a federal building. Has to go through a process that we normally don't have when we're building a building in town. So, but all three of those things required the architect to do additional work to get paperwork or other things ready, or design work, and they have just simply amended their contract to include those services at the same rate that they would have done them had they been in the initial contract. So I wanted you to see that, Chuck. You think we need to vote on the amendment?
It qualifies under new business, right?
Okay.
Item new business, go ahead and vote to approve the amendment.
So if we could have you to approve it, I would appreciate it.
Barry, is this amount is the total contract amount as opposed to an additional amount? Or does it just reflect additional charges?
It is reflected in the total amount.
Okay.
Already. We just simply, of course, we don't know even what the total amount will be until we do the bid, but all of these items will be included in the big package, so you won't see it broken out individually as a separate charge from what the package would be.
I see. Okay. I move to approve.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Jester,
Yes.
Ms. Romeo,
Yes.
Ms. John,
Yes.
Dr. Schutz.
Yes. Any other new business? All right. Consider a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. John,
Yes.
Mr. Jester,
Yes.
Ms. Romeo,
Yes.
Dr. Schutz.
Yes.